What's up? Howdy, guys. If anybody's here, maybe not. I just did this last minute. We'll see if anybody comes. Singing a song made by me. Oh, now somebody's in here, so I will stop singing and stop fiddling. I have a Judge Kim. Hi, Lisa. I have a Judge Kimmy Kim for us to watch. Um, well, I didn't schedule this properly. I'm not very good figuring out what time to go on it. So I think because I scheduled premiere for later, but maybe people will trickle in. There's my crazy life. So I'm learning. We're all learning. Also, I just took my medication. It's 6:30 in the evening. Probably not ideal. Okay, let's get this episode rolling. Let's get it moving. And I've got one of Judge Kim for us that we can go ahead and take a look at before the premiere in about an hour. Some of you may have seen I doubt a lot of you though will have seen the premiere, what that is going to be, because it's not a huge courtroom that a lot of people watch. Okay, let's do this. Can you just be a little faster today, computer, please? Please. Oh. Hi, Big Pigeon.
Can you hear me? Anybody?
We can hear you, Bill.
All right, because the computer's a second word a second ago. All right. It's one of the best probation officers ever. You may have been here a short while, but I know POs after 23 years. I guess we're waiting for the judges.
Yes, sir.
All right, I'm gonna put it back on mute then real quick.
Good morning, everyone. These are the detention hearings for the 323rd Judicial District Court for the state of Texas, the designated juvenile court for Tarrant County. The Texas Supreme Court, in its 26th emergency order, has directed all courthouses to keep the doors closed except for essential hearings. However, in keeping with the spirit of the open courts provision of the Texas Constitution, these hearings are being broadcast live on YouTube. The recording or broadcasting part or all of these hearings is expressly forbidden. Violation of the court's order may subject you to civil and or criminal contempt. All right, are you Mr. Mascaro?
Yes, sir.
All right. My name is Judge Porter. The law says when you're brought into detention, you must see a judge within 2 business days. This is your initial detention hearing. You have the right to remain silent. You also have the right to an attorney, and I've appointed Frank Adler to represent you in this case. Mr. Adler, if you could say something so that Mr. Mascaro could see who you are.
Yes, Your Honor. Good morning.
All right. Aaron, do you see your attorney?
Yes, sir.
All right. Mr. Nava, what brings Mr. Mascaro to court today?
Yes, sir. Aaron Mascaro has no history with the department. First time referral. He was referred in for accident involving an injury. Yesterday on the 7th, he was referred by Fort Worth after involving an injury involving an officer. Around 8:12, police were dispatched to an hit and run. The victim wasn't a police officer. Officer reported to other officers that as she was crossing Martin and Era Street, a 2006 F-150 traveling at a high rate of speed crashed into the front passenger side of a patrol unit. This knocked the vehicle across the street into the front yard of a nearby residence. The patrol vehicle also hit a small brick wall with a chain link fence, causing damage. The F-150 stopped a short distance away, and the driver gets out and ran away. She did provide a description. They ran the license plates. They went to the residence where the plates were matched, and they spoke with the mom. Mom provided the same description that was given by the officer, and he was arrested at his home.
Now, there's a little bit more to the report than just that. Isn't there a suggestion in the police report that after he went home, he had a discussion with his mother? The mother directed him to, he appeared, may have had a cut or was bleeding openly, and mother directed him to go take a shower and change clothes?
That's correct, Your Honor. And
All right.
was taken to the hospital with injuries, the neck, shoulder, and numbness of the fingers.
Mr. Adler, what are your thoughts?
Judge, I think the mom is there. Can I ask her some questions?
Please.
Ma'am, do you understand English? I'm sorry, I have to ask you that.
Yes, sir.
So does your son, do you work, first of all?
Yes, sir.
And so if judge releases your son, who would be at home to supervise him?
I would take him with me. He works, he does school on the computer, and I have a hotspot, so I can have him with me at all times when I'm working. I work construction, so he can stay in the vehicle with me there doing his homework.
What type of construction do you work, ma'am?
I do roofing, regular, just any construction.
And I could kind of tell by the report, the judge might be worried about supervision and judgment at home. Can you guarantee the judge that you will follow all orders of the court?
Yes, sir.
Are you still married to the dad or together with his dad?
No.
And who all lives in the house?
My other son, he's almost 13, and my boyfriend.
And what does your boyfriend do?
He works also construction, but he's working out of town today.
And so, ma'am, you will follow the law. You'll do everything the judge asks, but you want your boy to go home?
If he thinks that's what's best, yes. But it's up to him.
Thank you, ma'am. Judge, I have nothing further.
All right. Mr. Mascaro, based on the information provided in the police report, I first find that there's probable cause to believe that you've engaged in delinquent conduct. Secondly, based on some of the information provided in the police report after the initial accident, that suggests that you are likely to abscond from the jurisdiction of the court, running away from a crash site, going home, changing clothes, taking a shower, changing your appearance. That suggests to the court that you're likely to abscond from the jurisdiction of the court if I were to release you. And so on that basis, I will order that you be detained.
Thank you, Your Honor.
That would be the order of the court.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Shakaya Desiree Anderson.
Excuse me, Judge Porter, I need to speak. If you could just cool it for a second. Thank you, Judge Porter. I'm just getting the chat up here so that I can actually reply up. But I am thankful for everybody here. I hear that there are big storms tonight, so please do be careful. Be safe. Know where your safe place is. All those things. And you can hang out here. You can hang out here while you're waiting out the storms. I am reminding everybody that may be new here. These are old episodes. These originally aired in 2020. They are from the 323rd District Court of Tarrant County, Texas. This is a juvenile hearing. These hearings are very different than your regular run-of-the-mill bond hearing or even first appearance hearing we may see with adults. Things are very different when you're dealing with juveniles. And you see somebody on screen here that their name begins with JPD. That usually stands for Juvenile Probation Department. And also, I would like to draw everybody's attention to Mr. Nava's poster over here, which is, I guess, like halfway motivational poster. Like, aren't they usually supposed to say, like, you can do it or something like that? But his just want to believe. But I'm not sure if that's really the whole thought there. But I appreciate the sentiment, I guess. The freeze framing, that might be me, that might be some internet elsewhere. I paused it now, so I'm going to start playing it again here soon in just a second. I'm trying to get rid of every window I have, other than the ones I need. Yeah, I know. Brian Hall mentions your town's name. You gotta be careful. I just not be able to chat. And that'd be how we have to do it. I'll have to chat on the phone. Oh my god. I just laughed about seeing flashlight versus flashlight. That's hilarious. Thank you for that. Please light to your safe place. Oh, oh god. Okay, let's continue.
Are you Miss Anderson?
Yes, sir.
All right, Miss Anderson, you were brought into the detention center basically on a TJJD warrant. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
All right. So because a warrant has been lawfully issued, I'm going to find that if I were to release you, you're likely to abscond from the jurisdiction of the court, plus you've been previously sent to TJJD and are on TJJD parole. And so on that basis, I'm going to order that you be detained. Thank you, ma'am. All right. All right. Are you Ms. Carter?
Yes, sir.
All right, Ms. Carter. The law says when you're brought into detention, you must, and initially detained, you must see a judge every 10 business days. This is your 10-day detention hearing. You have the right to remain silent. You also have the right to an attorney. And Mr. Ferguson, your attorney is here. Do you see Mr. Ferguson on the screen?
No, I do not, but.
Taylor, can you say something?
Yes, Judge, I'm present.
The
You see him now? You see him now?
No, but I can hear him.
All right. Ms. Paxton, what brings Ms. Carter to court today?
Your Honor, she failed to appear for an adjudication hearing on July 28th, and you issued a directive to apprehend. She was in the San Antonio area, and then she was arrested in Como County, New Braunfels, on 3 charges, and then Como County transported her here on that DTA. She is also pending a possession of controlled substance with us. And she has court on November 2nd at 8:30. Her mother is present, Jenny Westmoreland. I don't know if you see her on there.
I do now. Yes. All right. We're trying to get her unmuted. All right.
Is that better?
Yes, ma'am. All right. Miss Westmoreland.
Yes.
What are your concerns?
Pretty much just every time I think that things are going good, it just blindsides me. So I have 100 concerns, but I just never know. So I mean, that's just, I'll have to take chances every time, and then one of these times, hopefully it sticks.
Mr. Ferguson, what are your thoughts?
Judge, may I ask Ms. Westmoreland a question?
Please.
Ms. Westmoreland, Charisma had mentioned something to me about possibly living with her grandmother. Is that an option?
I don't think that's a good idea. I mean, it can be, but when she overdosed last year, that's where she was staying. Okay. So, I mean, she's still a good influence, but she's never there. So she would be unsupervised quite a bit.
If the judge were to release Charisma on a monitor, then she'd be living with you. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. Judge, I don't have any further questions from Ms. Westmoreland. Charisma's been here about a month. We were waiting on a psychological before we proceeded to adjudication. That has been done and is complete, but we're not set for disposition for another month. So I would ask that she go home on a monitor. And, you know, I know that she is level 1 outstanding at this time. So that would be my request, Judge.
Is there any way we can move that hearing up?
I mean, if we can move it up, that'd be great. That's just when it was originally scheduled. I was told by the court coordinator that they didn't have anything before that.
Well, we can check again. Based on the information before the court, Ms. Carter, I'm afraid that if I were to release you, you would likely run away and you'd be a danger to yourself or others. So on that basis, I have to order that you be detained. Ms. Carter, don't say anything to me about the case, okay? What else did you want to say to me?
If you were to ever release me, I have because in here I can't get access to NA or anything. So, but I have an NA group outside of here, and I have a sponsor and everything that I can't access while I'm in here. And then also, this is my first time being in jail, and I've learned that I don't want to be here, and it'll be my first time on a monitor, and I just want to fix everything before it's too late. And I've proven that I've been I've been a level 1 since I came here, and also when talking to Mr. Ferguson, and Ms. Paxton, I would want to get into therapy groups with my mom and fix everything before it's too late. So it's just I'm asking for just a chance. I know I've given many, but I feel even I have a support system when I get out, my grandma, my mom, and it'll be my first time on a monitor, and that's just a constant reminder, don't run, and I'm tired of running anyways, you know.
All right. So, that's exactly what I needed to hear. Exactly what I needed to hear. That you have a plan for your sobriety. You have a plan for your safety, that you want to repair the relationship with your mom, that you recognize that you've damaged that relationship and that you are willing to do the work it takes to get there. Those are all 5 big, big things. And I can tell you that that goes a long way with your mom. Mr. Ferguson, I'm going to ask you to find an earlier date. Ms. Carter, based on the evidence before the court, I'm not there yet. I cannot trust that you won't run away yet, okay? That's not to say that 10 days from now, that you won't have convinced me that you really are committed to this, but I'm just not there yet. And I think you understand why, right? Because you've got a lot of bad stuff in the past. And so it takes a lot of good stuff in the present to overcome the bad stuff in the past. You're working your way there and you're doing everything you're supposed to get there, but I'm not there yet. You understand that?
Yes, sir, I understand.
All right.
Charisma, it's all right. I'll get with the coordinator today and try to get a court date as soon as possible. So,
yeah.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, everybody. That will be the order of the court.
Can I say one more thing?
No, it's okay, Charisma. So,
I just want to tell Mama I love her.
okay. All
I
right.
love you
Thank
too,
you.
baby.
All right.
All right. Thank you, everybody.
Honey.
Alice Marie Cavazos.
Oh, she is heartbroken. She did look pitiful.
Your Honor, there's no parent present for Ms. Cavazos. They had a doctor's.
All right. Thank you. All right. Are you Ms. Cavazos?
Yes, sir.
All right. Ms. Cavazos, the law says when you're brought into detention and initially detained, you must see a judge every 10 business days thereafter. This is your 10-day hearing. You have the right to remain silent. You also have the right to an attorney, and your attorney, Mr. Beaver, is here. Do you see Mr. Beaver on the screen?
Good morning.
All right. Mr. Nava, what brings Ms. Cavazos to court today?
Your Honor, this is Alice's 10-day hearing. She was detained back on the 23rd of September after she cut off her monitor while she was en route to her aunt's house after police were called out. She did receive a citation for simple assault on that date, but she does have a petition on file for assault, bodily injury, as well as evading arrest. Victim of an assault, bodily injury is I believe her sister. Back on the 25th of August, they were called. Officers were called out around 8:48 p.m. They reported that Alice was out of control. She was threatening her grandmother and jumping on her sister's bed, destroying her sister's items as well. Her older sister pulled Alice off the bed by her arm, and that's when Alice pushed her. They both grabbed each other's hair, and Alice punched her sister on the right side of her face and nose with a closed fist, causing pain. Chris reported that she hit Alice back in self-defense. And then back on the 13th, regarding the evading arrest, there was a runaway call. Fort Worth did come out to the house. They brought her back home after talking with her. Then when she returned back home, she ran away from the home again. And as officers were starting her vehicle, that's when grandmother waved the officers down, and she was leaving home without permission, and she was ignoring officers' commands. At the last detention hearing, Judge Kim did order a placement search after she was initially detained, likely based on Alice stating to him that she was not going to take her medication as prescribed. But after the 26th of September, I can only assume that she has been taking her medication because I haven't received any reports from detention that she has not been taking her meds as prescribed. I did get one incident report on the 26th that she was not taking her meds. And the placement search should begin about next week once the psychological report comes back.
All right, Mr. Beaver, what are your thoughts?
Well, Your Honor, I appreciate that Alice has really been working hard in the back, and that her level, her level, I think, is one outstanding for quite a while. And I know that she's trying to do her best in the back, and I'm disappointed that there's no family member here for her today.
I am too.
I've been communicating with Mr. Nava, and I think that, unless I'm mistaken, that I think that she's ready to go back home and the family's ready to receive her. but unfortunately, the grandmother's not here today.
Okay, Alice, because I don't have a parent or guardian to release you to today, I cannot release you today. However, Alice, please, I want you to keep maintaining level 1-0. That's the first thing. Second thing, keep taking your medicine like you're supposed to. Mr. Beaver, as soon as you can arrange for a parent or guardian to be here now that we've completed the psychological, that's correct, Jorge? We've completed the psychological?
Yes,
We're
sir.
just waiting on the report?
It was done yesterday, so we're just waiting on the report to come back.
All right, Mr. Beaver, as soon as we can arrange for the parent or guardian to be here, let's schedule another detention hearing earlier than 10 days.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'll do that.
All right. Alice, unfortunately today I have to order that you be detained, but we're going to try and speed that up so that we can get you home as soon as your family's ready to go. As long as you keep taking your medicine and you maintain level 1-0 for me. Can you do that?
I don't know.
Yes, ma'am. You can do it. I have faith in you.
Well, I don't.
Alice, let me contact your grandmother and we'll get you scheduled for another hearing. So you're doing fine in the back. Keep it up, please. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you,
Alice, keep doing what you're doing. You can do this. You can do this. We believe in you. We do. All right.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right.
That lady down the bottom crying.
Good
I'm
morning,
almost
Mr.
crying.
Cummings. Welcome back.
Morning.
We've met before. My name's Judge Porter. The law says when you're brought into detention and initially detained, you must see a judge every 10 business days. This is your 10-day hearing. You have the right to remain silent. You also have the right to an attorney, and Ms. Keenan Perkins is your attorney. She's here. Do you see her?
No, I
I'm
don't see
waving
her.
at you, Jimmy.
I can hear her, but I can't see her.
Okay. Go ahead and talk again, Tracy.
Okay, Jimmy, can you hear me? And I'm waving at you.
Yeah,
I've got
now
an orange. You can hear. Okay.
All right. The court is personally familiar with this case. So the court has previously found that probable cause exists to believe that you engaged in delinquent conduct. So we're going to bypass all of that part. Jimmy, why are you level 3C in the back?
because like sometimes like the stuff be disrespectful and like we kids and like sometimes I lose my anger and sometimes like I want to go to my room, but I can't because like if I go in my room, I'm automatically 3. And sometimes I don't be following the directions.
Okay. Are you being respectful to the staff,
Sometimes,
but sometimes not?
yes, sir.
Okay. What do we need to do to work on being respectful to the staff all the time?
No, it's not like it's just certain stuff. It's just like one stuff that I,
Okay.
the other ones, yeah,
The other ones you're cool with?
yeah, yes, sir.
Okay. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to continue being nice to all the other staff, but I want you to find a way to at least say one nice thing a day to that person that is hard to get along with, okay?
Yes.
Even if it's just, hello, I hope you have a nice day today. And then leave it at that, okay? I want you to try to do one nice thing. Will you do that for me?
Yes.
All right. Ms. Perkins, what are your thoughts?
Well, we do need to probably try to get him released because we need to get him in IDD and MHMR eye care. But I understand he did fall to the level 3, which concerns the court. So I would like to ask if he can get back up to level 1, if we could reconsider releasing him so that we can try to get him that MHMR help. I don't want him to start regressing.
I concur with that, and I will agree with that. Jimmy, you got to get to level 1 for me. Yes, sir. What do you want to say? Tell me.
That's my attorney.
She can call you this afternoon, okay?
Your Honor, this
I will
Officer
be-
Dodson. Can I share something with
Yeah,
you?
Mr. Dotson.
I talked to Mom. She said they're currently in quarantine.
because COVID in the household. So
Oh, no.
yeah, she didn't give me a time limit, but she said they are under quarantine in the house. She was going to try to be on Zoom. I don't see her, but she said they're in quarantine at the house right now. So I don't have a date of when the house may be clear for him to go.
Well, he's going to be here
quarantine.
He's got to be here for at least 2 weeks. He's got to get to level 1-0 for me first.
Okay.
All right. That's going to be the order of the court. Thank you, Jimmy.
Thank you. I'll be calling you, Jimmy, okay?
All right.
Ms. Perkins, did you get the report on Jimmy? I forgot to ask you.
I did.
Okay,
I did.
good.
Yeah, I think we're all caught up, and that's my main concern is I just don't want him to go backwards while we're
I agree.
Yeah. Thank you, Your Honor. May I be excused?
Yes, ma'am. Good to see you. Thank you.
Good to see you.
All right. All right, let's see if we can get Mr. Evans. All right. Are you Mr. Evans?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Evans, my name is Judge Porter. The law says when you're brought into detention, you must see a judge within 2 business days. This is your initial detention hearing. You have the right to remain silent. You also have the right to an attorney, and I have appointed Harmony.
Sherman.
I know there she is. Okay, I couldn't see you on the screen. To be your attorney. Do you see her on the screen?
Yes, sir.
All right. Ms. Rodriguez, what brings Mr. Evans to court today?
He was referred in custody yesterday for UUMB. The police were dispatched to a stolen vehicle. Police spoke with the vehicle and to the lien company. The lien company gave police the location of the stolen vehicle. Police located the vehicle and observed Xavier enter the vehicle and drive off. They stopped the vehicle and detained him. He was the only person in the car. He also has a BMV from earlier this year. The offense date is April the 6th. He was referred out of custody in June for that offense. However, we could not locate the family, and that case ended up being closed without intake. But due to the UUMB coming in, the BMV was opened back up.
Does he have a parent or guardian here today?
Mom is present through Zoom, and then he was also positive for marijuana.
Oh, Mom, what do you know about the marijuana use?
Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
I know that Xavier's using. I try to keep him home as much as I can. I try to make him stay in the house. We've been having issues with him going and coming kind of random hours. My husband has told me to just leave him out. I'm like, well, I'm concerned about his safety, so I don't want to just put him out. So he's home. He's always welcome home. I talk to him every day about him being sober and him staying inside. But he tells me he's going to go, hang with a friend. I'm like, okay, because I want to, I don't want to just keep him in. But I didn't know anything about him driving any vehicles or anything like that. So this was kind of new to me.
All right. Harmony, what are your thoughts?
Your Honor, I'm going to leave that up to you. Obviously, we're requesting that he be released. It sounds like Mom is capable of keeping him at home, and she seems on top of it other than these occasional slip-ups.
Yeah, all right. I'm going to split the baby on this one. Mr. Evans.
Yes, sir.
Came in and he tested positive for marijuana. You had a prior referral, and now you've got a new UUMB. You're not even 16. So it's not even legal for you to be driving. So even if you had a learner's permit, your mom had to be in the vehicle with you. And I don't think she was out running around with you. So here's what we're going to do. You're going to get to, have they explained the behavioral levels in the back, level 1, level 2, level 3?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and level 3 is the worst. Level 1 is the best. I want you to get to level 1.0. And then I want you to maintain it for 3 days consistently.
Yes, sir.
If you do that, then I will allow you to go home on an electronic monitor to your mom. Mom, can you assure the court that once he's earned the right to go home, can you assure the court that he will get back to court when he's supposed to?
Yes.
All
and
right.
I thank you for putting him on that monitor. I think that's what's needed. Thank you so much.
Well, he's not there yet. He's got to earn that.
I believe he will.
I hope so. All right. So once you get to level 1.0 and you maintain it for 72 hours, then I'll authorize your release on the electronic monitor. So
Yes, sir.
at this point going forward, it's up to you. You could be level 3 confined in the back tomorrow, and then it takes you even longer. Or you could get to level 1.0 in as few as like 2 or 3 days, maintain it for 72 hours, and you get to go home and have mom's cooking. Sound good?
Yes, sir.
All right, that'll be the order of the court.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. May I be excused?
Yes, ma'am. Good to see you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right. Looking for Miss
Actually, I was
Gassaway.
Judge Porter.
Don't see her yet.
Speaking. So frustrating sometimes when he just talks over me. I would like an uncensored copy of the funny video from earlier. Yeah, so that we're aware. Also, do you see how often this frickin' Zoom changes size? This is why you need literally like 30 different settings to make it fit perfectly. But there's this whole thing about being on screen the whole time, and I really want to be on screen, but I don't want to be like in the way. So I wonder if this will actually work for me. I think I might even blend in a little too well. Maybe people won't even notice that I'm on screen. But I am. I'm here. I hope there's a good version, like an NSFW version on the Discord. I'll have to check. But let's continue.
There she is. All right. Precious Danae Gassaway. Are you Miss Gassaway?
Yes, sir.
All right. Can you talk a lot louder for me? I'm kind of hard of hearing. I can barely hear you.
Yes, sir.
There we go. All right. The law says when you're brought into detention, you must see a judge within 2 business days. This is your initial detention hearing. You have the right to remain silent. You also have the right to an attorney. And your attorney, Mr. Houston, is here. I've appointed him to represent you. Do you see him on the screen?
Yes, sir.
All right. Mr. Kroll, what brings Ms. Gassaway to court today?
Your Honor, Your Honor, about 7:50 yesterday, Fort Worth PD was dispatched to a domestic call. Upon arrival, it appears that Precious was cooking dinner, got into an altercation with her mom over use of phone. I guess she wasn't cooking dinner correctly, playing on her phone too much. At that time, her mother took the phone away from her. Precious went to her room, retrieved another phone in the house. Mom, when attempting to take it away, I guess it's alleged that Precious pushed mom in the chest and punched her in the face. A brother intervened at that time.
Does she have a parent or guardian here today?
Mom is here. Her username is listed as Galaxy. I did want to also add to that. She was detained last night, and speaking with mom this morning, we do have mediation set for tomorrow at 10. That's the earliest it could be done. So I would ask that she stay here until we see how mediation goes. And if all goes well, Mom is willing to pick her up at mediation.
Mom, is that what you want?
Yes, Your Honor. Hopefully mediation can help us because Precious, I sent for my ex-husband to get her in through the Texas OAG. He signed the possession of something for Precious, but he brought her back. This was in January of this year. He brought her back in May for Mother's Day for my present, and he never came back and got her. So she's been giving me problems at school. Mr. Engel doesn't want her back there, but we've been doing online school, and it's just like I have other kids here, and Precious creates her own problems and drama for no reason. And it's really because I know she wants a relationship with my ex-husband, her father, but I can't make that happen, and I can't let her hurt the other kids or tear up my household or keep putting me through. So I need some help with her, and I've done all I can do that I could think of.
Right. Ms. Gasaway, I'm going to order that you be detained. I'm first going to find that there's probable cause to believe that you've engaged in delinquent conduct. I'll order that you be detained on the basis that you may be a danger to others if released. However, if mediation is successful tomorrow, Mr. Crawl, then she may be released to her mother.
Okay.
All right, that'll be the order of the court.
Thank you, Your
Thank
Honor.
you.
Thank you, Mom.
Thank you.
All right. Rodrigo Hernandez, are you Mr. Hernandez?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Hernandez, the law says when you're brought into detention and initially detained, you must see a judge every 10 business days. This is your 10-day hearing. You have the right to remain silent. You also have the right to an attorney. And Ms. Herrick, your attorney, is here. Do you see her on the screen?
Yes, sir.
All right. Ms. Gonzalez, what brings Mr. Hernandez to court today?
Good morning, Your Honor. Rodrigo was referred into our detention center for the offense of ag assault with a deadly weapon ×3, and that occurred August the 25th, 2020. According to the Fort Worth Police report, it took place at approximately 7:55 p.m. They were dispatched to the disturbance at the address 3611 Noble Avenue. According to the police report, victim, Ms. Roth, called the police after she saw suspect pull out a gun and shoot at their vehicle, which was a red Dodge Ram. While she and 2 others were located inside the vehicle, Mr. Roth and a Mr. Lopez. According to Mr. Roth, they were in the vehicle going east when he heard 5 gunshots and saw suspects aiming a handgun at them. The suspect aiming a handgun at them. According to Mr. Lopez, he was working on his red Dodge Ram earlier that day when the suspect approached him to ask why he was looking at his girlfriend. According to the police report, the suspect demanded an apology from Mr. Lopez. Lopez stated that he walked away from the suspect and went inside the house. 10 minutes later, or approximately, Mr. Lopez, his sister, and his brother-in-law came out, drove to McDonald's. When they returned, he noticed a large group of people standing outside the home. So he attempted to turn around in reverse to drive eastbound on Noble. As he drove by, he was shot at. There were multiple bullet holes in the red Dodge Ram. 9 bullet shell casings on the ground were located in the street. Victim 1, 2, and 3 were all in fear of serious bodily injury from the suspect after witnessing suspect point the firearm towards them. The suspect's mother, Miss Maria Alvarez, who's also present via Zoom today, called the police to give them the location of her son, Mr. Rodrigo. He was located and arrested for aggravated assault with a deadly weapon and then transported to the juvenile detention center.
Do you have prior referrals to the department?
He does, Your Honor. He was previously referred in to our department for assault public servant back in October of 2016. He was put on probation for that offense. May 16 of 2017, he completed that probation term. Then he was re-referred into our detention center for evading arrest detention back in November of 2019, which he is currently on probation for, Your Honor. There was another case that he was referred on for criminal trespass back in November of 2019, and that is my understanding is that was waived non-suit DA.
Cynthia, I thought his evading probation expired in September.
He well, technically, because he's got a pending case right now, it's still open, is my understanding.
Was a motion to modify filed in the prior case?
Yes, that's correct, Your Honor. We were set for a motion to modify an adjudication disposition hearing this morning. However, it was passed.
No, we were only set on the new case this morning.
Yeah, an adjudication disposition.
If
correct.
I may, I thought the violation of probation had been rejected. Is that right, Andy?
I do not.
Sorry, no,
Ms.
Andy.
Smith.
Yeah.
Sorry,
I
Ms.
would
Smith.
never call you Andy ever.
Yes, actually, now that I'm looking at my on my end, it was supervisory cautioned, and I believe I did that, if I remember correctly.
And I don't have any notes on my doc. I've got the file right in front of me. I don't have any notes on why today's case was passed.
It is because Andy Smith is taking the case to the grand jury. Is that right?
Yeah, and I didn't realize that you were appointed. It was originally Randy Bowers. Sorry, Judge, I talked to Mary about this yesterday. It was originally Randy, didn't realize she got off and that Lisa was appointed. So I just opened up to evidence for her yesterday.
Okay.
And then I do also intend on taking this to grand jury.
All right. Well, Mr. Hernandez, that puts us on a completely separate track. This is a gun offense, and gun offense times 3. Is this let's see, let me not guess, since I have the petition right in front of me. Okay, so this is aggravated assault by threat, aggravated assault by threat, deadly weapon times 3. Yeah, that scares me too much. I can't. You've been previously found to engage in delinquent conduct. So yes, you're on level 1.0. You need to stay on level 1.0 because that puts your attorney in the best possible bargaining position on your behalf. Plus, Judge, this is probably going to be Judge Kim's case now. And if you're anything other than level 1, you're just killing yourself in his eyes. You want to maintain level 1.0 because that makes Judge Kim very happy. And that gives your attorney, who knows how Judge Kim operates, puts her in the best possible position to argue on your behalf. But the underlying facts are just too scary. I can't authorize your release today. I'm sorry.
Yes, sir.
All right, that's going to be the order of the court. Thank you, Ms. Harry.
No problem.
I didn't even ask if you had a parent or guardian here today.
She is, I think. And she also is not well. She's undergoing chemotherapy, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
So I believe she's here.
All right, thank you. Okay. All right, are you Miss Page?
Yes.
I can't hear you. All right, Miss Page. The law says when you're brought into detention, you must see a judge within 2 business days, and this is your initial detention hearing. Is somebody covering for Mr. Victorson?
Yes, sir.
Oh,
Frank
thank
Minicon.
you, Mr. Minicon.
Sir.
She was brought in on a TJJD warrant.
You know, Judge, my understanding is that she was brought in for a UUMV is what I'm looking at, the offense report or the detention hearing report.
Oh, but okay. She's previously been to TJJD, but she's
That's
been
correct.
discharged from parole.
That's correct.
All right. Ms. Page, before I go any further, you have the right to remain silent. You also have the right to an attorney, and your attorney, Ms. Herrick, is I've appointed. Do you see her on the screen?
Hi, Kaylin.
All right. Ms. Herrick, what are your thoughts?
I understand that this is a challenging position because she has previously been to TJJD. Her offense that she's accused of right now is not a violent offense. She is young. She's 15 years old. Yeah. And so, I mean, my request is that she be released, even if that is on an electronic monitor. Because like you said, she is not still obligated to TJJD in any way right now.
Does she have a parent or guardian here?
Unfortunately, Judge, her grandmother is not present. I looked at the notes and she said she was going to try to be here or try to be present on the Zoom, but she is not available on the Zoom, nor do I see her in the building.
Before I go any further and I forget, it's the police report indicates that yesterday at a little after midnight, 4 police officers observed a car that you and your sister were driving. Police ran the plates and it was reported stolen 2 days earlier. They initiated a traffic stop and apprehended both. So we don't need to go any further than that. First, I found there's probable cause to believe that you've engaged in delinquent conduct. And second of all, because I don't have a parent or guardian to release you to today, I have to order that you be detained. All right? All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, Dakota Reynolds. Is Mr. Adeniji here?
I've seen him on the Zoom feed, Your Honor.
Yeah. Let's see if I can get him.
I see him and he's muted.
Correct. I sent him a message asking. Here he comes. All right.
I hear, Judge. Judge, did I hear you say you're hard of hearing?
Sometimes, yes.
Okay, because I don't see any earpiece.
I'm happy to give up spot when a parent arrives.
All right. All right. Are you Mr. Reynolds?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Reynolds, can you speak up a little louder for me?
Yes, sir.
Oh, there we go. All right, Mr. Reynolds, the law says when you're brought into detention, you must see a judge within 2 business days. This is your initial detention hearing. Actually, it's a hearing requested by your attorney. So you have the right to remain silent. You also have the right to an attorney. Mr. Adeniji, your attorney is here to represent you. Mr. Lewis, if you could remind me what brings Mr. Reynolds to court today.
Yes, sir, and I'm going to try to be as concise as possible because it's something of a long story. Dakota is pending a determinate sentence hearing scheduled for October 23rd for 2 counts of aggravated robbery. The incident occurred in April. The allegations are that on April 13th, the 2 victims were lured to a residence to purchase an iPhone by way of a app, and upon arrival, a suspect allegedly brandished a handgun at them. One of the victims threw the $200 she had brought to purchase the iPhone down and also her backpack as they ran. And Dakota was identified as the suspect via the app's law enforcement liaison and also through a photo lineup shown to both victims. Dakota has been out on electronic monitor pretty much since his original arrest. there have been some difficulties on the monitor. Most recently in September, grandmother with whom he was staying at the time and with whom he normally lives complained of a litany of complaints of friends coming over to her property without her permission, marijuana use on her property, violations of the EM. There was an incident on the 14th where a car that Dakota had somehow purchased was illegally parked, a wrecker, and the police had to be called, and an incident occurred which resulted in him being arrested for a Class C misdemeanor. We had an out of custody detention hearing to address this with Judge Kim on, I believe it was the 17th. Judge Kim Dakota detained. We had a 10-day on, I believe it was the 1st, in front of Judge Terry. And at the time, Dakota was level 1 outstanding. Judge Terry at that hearing did his release to his aunt on an electronic monitor if he were to retain his level 1 outstanding status through the upcoming weekend. And I was to check back with her this past Monday. I did. He was level 1 outstanding this Monday, but he had been dropped to level 1 acceptable according to JCMS. Judge Terry declined to release him based on the level drop over the weekend, but subsequent to that, detention informed me that Dakota had successfully appealed his points loss and his level drop, and they restored the record to show that he was in fact level 1 outstanding through the weekend. I went back to Judge Terry and she advised that this could be placed on the detention docket for today, though she wasn't quite ready to release him at that point. That was a couple days ago. Since that time, he has dropped to level 2 outstanding.
Oh. But Mom and Grandma are here?
Grandmother is not, Your Honor.
Grandmother, what are your thoughts?
My thoughts, Dakota, I don't know why he dropped to the level that he did over there while he was there. But I came because he wanted to see if he can go live with my daughter to keep down the confusion with the guys coming back and forward to the house and, on my property, because I got to deal with a lot of things right now concerning my wife and everything, her illness and stuff. So we was just trying to get him into another, with my daughter, who could watch him more than I can right now, because going back and forward to dialysis with her and doing the things that I do.
And forgive me, a couple of months ago, wasn't somebody in your house, wasn't there a fear that somebody was exposed to COVID?
My wife. Mm-hmm.
I thought about this because Dakota and I had that conversation like at the beginning of the summer when I let him go, and I warned him that all of his running around business is going to get one of y'all sick. Didn't he and I have that conversation?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
And then what happened?
I don't know how she how she caught the, we still kind of how she got it. But
exactly.
Yeah.
See, Dakota, I remember these things. That isn't good for you. I warned you that you could do something that might kill one of your moms. And that is not what you want to happen. And now here we are. You're back in detention. All right, Mr. Adeniji, give it your best shot.
Judge, what the court is referencing has been overtaken by events since then. The last time we're in court, which was last week actually, Judge Terry actually said, I will release you if you maintain level 1-0. And it did. But because of paperwork mixed up in the back, is the reason why we are back here. It should have been released. He's not responsible for the paperwork or the gradings. They corrected the error they made. So it's unfortunate that he's still here, contrary to Judge Terry's disposition. So I regret that if he wasn't here, we won't be talking about level 2.0. So I don't know how to be fair to him in terms of meeting his obligation to be level 1 who are standing, and I will release you. And then some people mess up the paperwork and he's still here. Now he's frustrated. I don't know what happened, why he got to level 2. But I know your policy. So that's what I'm concerned about.
All right. I'm going to look up what happened in the back.
Okay. I appreciate that, Judge.
Can I speak?
Oh, well, he fell from 1.0 to 2 unacceptable
Oh, I thought you said 2.
because he wasn't doing his schoolwork
Okay.
and not following instructions.